This is a very, very interesting story that is coming out of Spain at the moment. It was reported that the Fundación Universitaria Española, that's the Spanish University Foundation, a Catholic group, they were having a conference, a very benign conference, to commemorate when Pope Benedict, who was then Cardinal Ratzinger, came there 30 years ago to give a talk on the Catechism. So they were, as it says here, la fundación conmemoraba que hace 30 años el cardenal Joseph Ratzinger presentó en nuestra sede la nueva catequismo de la Iglesia Católica. So the Fundación was commemorating that 30 years ago, Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger presented in our seat the new catechism of the Catholic Church. And so they had some speakers to come to commemorate this simple commemoration. So they, obviously, who are you going to invite to commemorate something that happened 30 years ago when Cardinal Ratzinger was there? Well, maybe the people that knew him best. And one of those people would have been his personal secretary, Cardinal or Archbishop Ganswein. So there was a number of people invited, including the papal nuncio, Georg Ganswein, and this was all arranged in Madrid, all above board, no issues. And then at the last minute, things got very heated. And we learned that the whole event was cancelled. Can you imagine? A conference to commemorate the new catechism was cancelled. And so what's behind the cancellation of Ganswein's conference? I mean, it wasn't just his conference. There was a number of people invited, including the nuncio. And, so the event had the backing of the Cardinal of Archbishop Emeritus of Madrid, Antonio Maria Varela, so as well as the nuncio in Spain, Bernardito Ausa. So it was all above board, was all arranged. And but anyway, things have got very heated on this. So there's this story from Info Vaticana, and I think it's important for Catholics to read what's going on in the church, because we're all about dialogue, synodal this and synodal that, and listening to different points of view. The former personal secretary of Pope Benedict XVI was vetoed as a result of pressures that the Spanish University Foundation has received. Last Wednesday, an event organised by the Spanish University Foundation was to be held, in which it was commemorated that 30 years ago, Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger presented the new Catechism of the Catholic Church at the headquarters of that foundation. Now, the text I'm reading here has been translated into English, just so you're aware. This event was not held 2 days before the event. Imagining 2 days before the event, after people had booked hotels and so forth. The foundation contacted the German bishop via email, they couldn't even call him, to inform him that the act was suspended. The conference was suspended without giving him further explanations. The day before the conference, the Fundación Universitaria Española, the Spanish University Foundation, issued a brief note stating that it suspended the event for organizational reasons. An excuse that is hard to believe, although at question of this, media were assured that it was not received any pressure to cancel Ganswein's act in Madrid. This wording has received some testimonials from people who had planned to attend the event and who had come from outside Madrid, so they lost the money for trains and hotels which they had booked. So what's behind the veto of Ganswein? As we have already reported, this media has been able, this website has been able to know from several sources that pressures received from the foundation, specifically its president Lydia Jimenez, are real and have come from Rome. The presence of the former personal secretary of Benedict XVI, along with Rouco Varela and the apostolic nuncio, was taken advantage of by some progressive ecclesiastical media to attack the participants and generate false controversy, announcing a kind of anti-Francisco conclave in the capital of Spain. What we do not know, although it is easy to intuit, is the reason why Rome would order Ganswein was not given to speak in Madrid. Was not being the order that they were given to make sure that he couldn't speak in Madrid. But now let's go into what we do know. Info Vaticana has learned from several sources that the president, Lydia Jimenez, received a call from the nuncio, Monsignor Bernardito Ausa. In that telephone conversation, the nuncio, Bernardito Ausa, told Lydia that they should cancel Ganswein's appearance from orders from above. The consequence of not having done so would have been that the Vatican would have orchestrated an apostolic visitation to the secular institute, the Crusades of Mary, of which she is president. A threat of this caliber was enough for Lydia Jimenez to call off the conference with the German prelate. On the Crusades of Mary, there are some complaints about abuses of conscience, so the president of the University of Foundation is afraid that the Vatican would dare to inspect them. In addition, according to other sources, another of Lydia Jimenez's fears is that they are digging into the accounts of the Catholic University of Avila, of which she is president of the board of directors. So who is Lydia Jimenez? Lydia Jimenez was born in San Martín de Pimpolar in Avila in 1945. She met Father Thomas Morales, a Jesuit, in 1965, a few months after his arrival to Madrid. Since 1971, she has worked closely with him in the beginning and the gestation of the secular Crusades Institute of Santa Maria. She has studied education sciences and philosophy at the Complutense University in Madrid and has been a professor at the University of Valladolid. In 1999, Pope John Paul II appointed her consultant to the Pontifical Council of the Family, a position that was renewed in August 2004 and later in 2009. She has also been a consultant to the Congregation of the Institutes of Consecrated Life. In November 2010, she was elected president of the SEDIS, the Spanish Confederation of Secular Institutes. She is currently General Director of the Secular Institute Crusades of Mary. Let me come back here. She is currently director of the Secular Institute's Crusades of Mary. Member of the Board of Directors of the International Thomistic Society and President of the Board of Directors of the Catholic University Santa Teresa de Jesus of Avila. She is also President of the Board of Trustees of the Teresa de Avila Foundation. She has directed numerous batches of spiritual exercises to young girls, a regimen of loneliness and silence in the Ignatian way, dedicating herself tirelessly to the foundation of each one. She has promoted the creation of the Berish Institute of the Family in Spain and Latin America, of which she is the director since 1998. From 1999 to 2016, she has been consultant to the Dicastery of the Laity, Family and Life, and since 2001, consultant to the Congregation of Consecrated Life and Societies of Apostolic Life. In 2012, she participated as an auditor at the Synod of Bishops convened by Pope Benedict XVI on the new evangelization and transmission of the Catholic faith. In 2022, she managed to be unanimously elected as president of the Spanish University Foundation, replacing Cardinal Osoro. Anyway, so that's just some information from Info Vaticana, the most widely spread kind of Catholic news agency online in the Spanish-speaking world. And it's quite clear that this conference really caused a stir in Rome, a conference in which they were commemorating the new catechism when Cardinal Ratzinger went and gave a talk on this 30 years ago. So it's kind of interesting to see what's going on in Spain. At the one side, the Vatican is bending over backwards, on dialogue and synodality and this and that. I mean, we've seen the nun, 81-year-old nun involved in the LGBT movement. She's been rehabilitated in Rome, flown to Rome. She met with the Pope for 40 minutes. And then a day later, she says, in time, the church is going to approve gay marriage, which we thought was very interesting. That no sooner have you come out from meeting the Pope than you seems to be the spokesperson on this. And I'm quoting her. So this isn't innuendo. This is what she said. Now, I suppose, that's her opinion, but she seems to be perfectly fine to be able to voice it. And so, the Vatican has rehabilitated New Ways ministry into the church. And at the same time, they are very, very quick to get the nuncio to shut down a conference in Madrid in which Pope Benedict's secretary is going to give a talk. So look, make of it what you like. This is interesting times that the Spanish university is cancelling Georg Ganswein's conference 30 years after the presentation of the new catechism. There's definitely opposition in the church, but I think they have really lost it here. I mean, archbishops, personal secretaries, these type of things, and going and giving talks around the world is nothing problematic. It has been done all the time, but it's amazing the pressure that gets put on these conferences when Rome doesn't want something to happen. And I suppose let's see. God bless you. Take care. Bye bye.